tiki their ears off. That's what I thought. For this October installment, I thought it would be appropriate to venture into the world of spooky surf rock, which is a subgenre of a subgenre, I suppose, defined by reverb-drenched guitars, along with dark, menacing, horror-tinged undertones and or overtones. From a thematic standpoint, it works well with Tiki's long fascination with zombies and cannibals, not to mention the classic universal horror monsters and vintage horror from the mid-20th century. The music also makes pretty good Halloween soundtrack for parties. Just saying. This time out, I'm going to give a close listen to the Phantomatics, a purpose-built spooky surf band from San Antonio. Their leader, David, pushed me for years to launch a podcast devoted to home tiki bar builds, which eventually led me to launch a Moment of Tiki here on the YouTubes. The Phantomatics have one album or EP, depending on how you categorize such things. The 2011 release titled The Phantomatics in She Left Her Brain at the Drive-In. I have to admit, they don't go in for subtlety much with an album title or cover art. It's pretty cool. You know exactly what you're in for. The first song I want to share with you here tonight is the opening track from the album Hearse Surfing, which is just about the most perfect name ever for a spooky surf song.
And now, on with the show.
Don't you just love that intro? And how about that energy? That intensity, it kind of leaves you breathless, doesn't it? But lest you think this band is all about brute force, at the 120 mark, there's a sudden tempo shift and volume shift that starts soft, but steadily builds up until erupting full force about a minute later. It's a great contrast that launches the band into the final closing measures of the song. Next up is the Phantomatic Twist.
Medical authorities in Cumberland have concluded that in all cases, the killers are eating the flesh of the people they murdered.
This is a fun one. It's got some mood-setting voiceovers and not one, but 3 drum solo segments that keep things moving along quite nicely. High energy all the way. Now, before I move on to the third song, I want to stop for a moment and ask you to go down and click like and subscribe, and most importantly, click on that bell icon, because that's the only way you will get notifications when I update this page, okay? You can do that, everything will be great, and we'll be best friends for life, right? Great. So finally, we're going to take a listen to the final track of the album, Death Waltz in B minor. How do you not love that title? Okay, this one shows that the Phantomatics aren't only about frenetic guitar riffs and driving drums, right? They set down a smooth, menacing groove here that might almost count as a love song if it weren't so ominous. The band shows here that they can shake things up and not break their stride while staying true to their core idiom. Good stuff. My biggest criticism of the album is that it only contains 6 tracks, clocking in at less than 22 minutes. I get it, recording is expensive and time consuming for independent bands, but I'm a listener who just wants more. And if you want more, I encourage you to head over to Bandcamp. There will be a link down below, and show some love to the Phantomatics and other musicians that I feature here. Seriously, the Phantomatics album is only $4, and that's a bargain, any way you slice it. Remember, if you want to continue to get great music from these artists, the best way to ensure that happens is to buy their stuff. And if you listen to all of your music through streaming services such as Spotify, it might be time to reconsider that. These services have always treated musicians badly, but recently the terms of service for Spotify were revised and it's gotten much, much worse for artists. Consider cutting out the middleman and supporting the musicians directly. Now, I may be soapboxing a little bit, but I feel passionately about it. Look, I'm an artist, I'm a writer, I'm not a musician. I played trombone in middle school, junior high band, and I was pretty terrible at it. But I was bad enough to know that it takes a lot of effort to become proficient or even average or even mediocre at an instrument, and to put together a band and write all the tracks on your album like the Phantomatics have done, all 6 songs on this album or our original music. Okay, that takes some skill, that takes some talent, and not least of all, that takes effort. To put together this package, to invest your time, effort, and heart into it, that deserves respect and support from the audience that is consuming this. And these companies that are literally raking in billions of dollars from the music that these musicians promote, whether it's the indie Phantomatics or Night Ranger from the 80s or Florence and the Machine or Lost Straitjackets or whoever is popular right now, that is a disservice to the artists. And that is why I try to encourage everyone to support the artist. YouTube has dinged me a few times complaining about copyright infringement on these videos, but I'm not about copyright infringement. That's why I only play short segments of the songs, because I'm here about promoting the artist, promoting the music, promoting the work. And I hope that you, the viewing audience, can see it the same way. So I may wax polemic, poetic, soapbox, monologue, however you want to call it on occasion, but I'm speaking from the heart. So if you have it within your means to support these artists, then absolutely 100% I encourage you to do so. And with that, I will get off my soapbox right now and put it aside for another month, and hope that you have a fantastic Halloween, spooky season, and until next time, keep tikiing your ears off.